This is Fight Fans Radio.
What's up, MMA fans, and welcome to episode 46 of the MMA Pulse. I am your host, Josh, and it is October 17th. Today we're going to talk about last weekend's UFC 153, break the bad news about Strikeforce, and also talk a little bit about some Ultimate Fighter news that's come up in the last day and a half. Before we get into that, if you guys would like to call in, the number is 410-988-6525, and our email address is mmapulse@mmavalor.com. Jared, you there?
Yes, sir.
How goes it?
It goes well.
It goes well.
And what do you mean break the bad news about Strikeforce? Who the hell wanted to watch that card as it was?
Hey,
anyways?
man, we broke it last week, right? Didn't we say that was going to happen? Oh, yeah. It's not really breaking it, but... Yeah. Well, let's just talk about that, man. Are you sad that there's not a November 3rd card?
Like I said, who the hell was going to watch it anyways?
Well, I was going to watch it just so that we could see the train wreck that was nobody on the main card. The ring girls were going to fight or something.
So you could watch Cormier fight himself in the ring?
I don't know. Maybe it'd be like a handicap match, Cormier versus two lightweights or something. The weird thing about that was the way it was presented to the media. They basically sent out a press release, and the way that the press release was worded was that Strikeforce has plans for a stacked card in January of 2013. Oh, and there's not going to be any November 3rd card. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but that was literally how it was. I mean, it opened up saying about this card that they're going to have stacked card, and then the next line was, oh, and then this card is being canceled.
That was pretty awesome. Just sneak it in there.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, did a fifth grader do it? I mean, did like someone at Zuffa was like, bring your kid to school day, and they wrote the press release up.
Free cheap labor, man.
I guess. I mean, so the bad news is there's not a November 3rd card, but the good news is we're probably going to have every single title on the line in January, and
it'll be the last.
That's what I think.
It'll be the last Strikeforce card ever.
I mean, I think that go out with a bang, you know, bring all the fighters, you know, all the title fights. Just have that as your main card and be done with it.
I don't know why you wouldn't. I mean, it would be stupid to try and continue to extend it out.
Right. Well, I mean, you kind of had to have. I mean, at least. I mean, in the September card, it was supposed to be Gilbert Melendez, and he got injured. But in the November card, there was supposed to be Rockhold and Cormier was on there, so might as well throw in Ronda Rousey and name Marquardt, and that be your main card.
I'm all for that. I would actually watch that card.
I mean, they should be able to do it. It's just a matter of, like who, really who fights Mark Hort, who fights Ronda Rousey. I mean, they already got an opponent for the other three. I mean, they might as well, if it is in fact the last card, which I mean everyone kind of thinks it would be, but if it in fact is, why not have them all go out with one more, one more fight?
I mean, it's Strikeforce and Showtime. I think that's about the only way you can go out.
Yeah, I mean the whole situation is it's strange, it's odd. I mean, two cards in a row canceled. Um, and then to word it as in like, hey, but we're planning on this really big card, unless there's injuries, and then we won't have another one.
Like I said last week, when you tell Dana White to F off when he tries to offer his help, don't expect there to be any miracles pulled out.
Yeah, it's not like they're gonna, bring over a bunch of UFC guys.
Exactly.
Now, before we jump, I was gonna talk about 153 first, but hey, what the hell? We mix things up around here.
Sorry, that was probably my fault.
No, it's okay. We get the sad, gloomy news out of the way first, and then we can be all happy and cheerful the rest of the card.
Once again, sad, gloomy news. It just saved me a Saturday night.
So I'm gonna be drinking anyway, so I mean, it's whether I'm drinking watching fights or drinking doing something else. Either way.
Either way.
Either way. Now, well, let's talk about last Saturday then. Let's talk about 153. What'd you think about the card?
I thought it was actually a really good card overall.
Was it the best of the card of the year though?
No, I don't know why people were.
So you saw that too, though, right? You saw people on Twitter and stuff going that 153 was the best card thus far this year.
Yeah.
Man, what kind of Kool-Aid were they drinking?
The good kind.
Apparently, the really good kind. I find it funny that like cards that fans come into with low expectations, and then they end up being good card. They just like, oh my god, it's the best card ever. And then like an actual card that was supposed to be like really good but ends up being average, they're like, that card sucked.
Yeah, it's like when there's a bunch of big names and they think they're going to be amazing fights, and they turn out to go the distance and be decisions and be a good technical fight. They're like, that was boring. That fight was horrible. It disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, I think the UFC 153 main card was very solid. I mean, every fight. I mean, there wasn't any titles on the line, and there wasn't any kind of like where you're going, okay, if this guy wins, he's going to get a title shot, or he's going to be, right there. But as far as entertainment value, I mean, I think every fight on there was entertaining. I mean, even the John Fitch fight, which everyone, always calls him, a boring fighter, that was a very entertaining fight. And I mean, as I think, with the people who paid for that pay-per-view, they got their money's worth, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I mean it was a good overall card. I can't say it was the best, but it was definitely a good solid. You didn't feel ripped off at the end of the night when you were done watching the card.
Definitely. So I mean, I just want to go through a couple of we'll go through the main card, I guess. The Damian Maia fight against Rick Story. I am thoroughly impressed with Maia at welterweight. I mean, the guy's 2-0 now, 2 finishes, and I mean, it's not like he's fighting, chumps at welterweight. He's fighting some decent guys, and has looked just really good.
I forget. Did we both pick Maia?
I don't know.
I thought you were writing this down so we could see who won, which means I must have won because you forgot.
Wait. I have it right here. Never mind. Yes. We have the same on all of them except you picked Silva and Big Nog, and I picked Fitch and Herman. So we pretty much...
It's tied.
Yeah, it's tied. So move on. We were talking about Maya. You should probably continue talking about him.
He's good.
He's good. Thanks.
You're
Expert
welcome.
analysis there.
Well, I do consider myself the best.
At least the best, maybe even better. Or not.
Elite.
Elite. Phil Davis. They didn't have to poke each other in the eye, so that's good.
Yeah, that was I was actually impressed with Phil Davis and how dominant he was able to be.
That anaconda choke that he does, I mean, that's the second time he's done that basically exact way that he got the choke, and it's pretty sick. I mean, it's happens out of nowhere, and I mean, Wagner Prado had no idea. It just was there 1 minute, and then he was tapping. It was pretty brutal.
Yeah, it was. He's definitely worked on that and saw a weakness at some point in several guys at that weight. And I don't know if it's his broad shoulders or what, but it works for him.
Yeah, I mean, when he turns and locks it on, I mean, their opponent they tap fast. I mean, he does something. I mean, it probably is the shoulders. I mean, he does have those boxy shoulders, but it's a pretty slick move for a light heavyweight, really.
Yeah, it is. I agree.
John Fitch versus Eric Silva. Were you surprised that? I mean, obviously you picked Silva, but were you surprised at how active Fitch was?
Yeah, I was surprised at how active Fitch was. Would have liked to seen him finish him, but can't always wish. I guess just
Well, but do you think that it could have been stopped in that third round? I mean, he threw everything. I mean, there was at least 20, 30 uncontested shots that. I mean, I thought there was at least two times that the ref could have stepped in and stopped the fight, and whether
yeah,
he was letting it go a little longer or Silva did just enough. But I mean,
yeah. I mean, it could have been. I guess to me, it's a smart game plan. He game planned well. He did what he needed to do to win. I think I still, Silva's a stand-up fighter, and that's kind of his bread and butter. And
mhm.
obviously, Fitch went to his strengths and you know outgamed him. But I mean, it was impressive, and you could definitely tell Fitch was improving and trying to improve. I don't know if I'm ready to rave about him yet.
All right. Well, considering he had been out for so long, having the way he came out right away and started dominating the fight, I was impressed by the lack of ring rust. Really, I mean, the guy had. I mean, even his last fight before that, he was only in the ring for a handful of seconds. So
Yeah,
it was a
I
good fight.
I don't know. I think ring rust. I don't want to say is non-existent, but I think ring rust is much different nowadays than it used to be. These guys. It used to be these guys would fight every so often, and they would just do a camp just to fight. So it was they wouldn't really train hard or really train for 6 to 8 months, and then they would get into an 8 week camp and fight. Or they may do that every 6 months, but they basically the only time they trained was camp. And now with it becoming a profession, these guys are training all year round. They're sparring all year round. They're going hard in the cage against each other in practice. I don't know if cage rust, ring rust, whatever you want to call it, is as big of an issue now as it was when people weren't making careers out of this.
I agree. I also think it also kind of depends on their style. I think you're going to get a little bit less ring rust with a guy who's more of a wrestler than maybe an accurate striker type of fighter who might feel uncomfortable out there and stuff. But no, I agree with you with, the camps being longer. I was just, I mean, considering he was out so long, then it was with injuries. He looked really good. He looked like he wanted to finish the fight. There has been a lot of times where you can clearly tell he didn't want to. He was just grinding out a win. Um, so maybe from now on he'll come into the fight saying he wants fight of the night bonus like he did this one and actually deliver on it.
Yeah, we'll see. You know, I was impressed, but like I said, I'm
I
not
was just
willing to
glad to
jump
see
on
him
the
back
Fitch
in there.
bandwagon.
I mean, it had been a while since he was in there, and I thought he looked good. And Eric Silva's no slouch, so it
Yep.
was a good fight. The next fight is Glover Teixeira against Fabio Maldonado, and all I could say on this is Maldonado can take a fucking beating.
Dude, I don't. I was surprised the doctor or the ref, somebody didn't step in sooner and stop it for that poor man.
I'm surprised that his corner didn't throw the towel in. I mean, I know that they know that his guy could take a punch and everything, but the guy was just getting just whooped on.
Oh man, when he almost caught Glover at the end of the
I
first
know.
round, though,
That was crazy.
it's like a Mike Russo versus Todd Duffy moment there for a second.
Yeah, that was I mean that was it's really hard to gauge like Maldonado is a very hard person to I mean he could take a punch, but it's hard to gauge just how good Teixeira looked in that fight because he could have. I think if it was anybody else, he probably would have finished the fight. But since it was stopped by the doctor, it doesn't, in some people's mind, look as good or as flashy. But Teixeira's a
I'm
beast, man.
I'll say I'm not one of those people. I think him versus Rampage is going to be a hell of a fight.
Yeah, I like how Rampage is on a Twitter war right now. He's like, let me get back to your good graces, Dana White. Let me take this fight. He's even gone and said like he'll fight Teixeira and what else did he say? He said he'd fight two people in one night.
That's awesome.
It's pretty funny. I didn't watch the post fight. I mean, did Teixeira say something about Rampage? Is that why?
Yeah, I read something he did. I didn't watch it either.
I mean, they were supposed to fight. I would be perfectly happy to see that fight, happen. Go and put it on UFC 155.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
I'm down for that. As long as I don't see Teixeira against Forrest Griffin or Rampage against Forrest Griffin, I'll be okay with that.
Well, did you hear the rumor that it's supposed to be Griffin
The
Bonner 3?
Griffin Bonner, yeah, I had actually said that yesterday that they might as well have that fight, and then I said the loser goes home, the loser retires, and for that matter, the winner should retire.
Yeah, I think they both would.
And I mean, especially if Bonner would want that fight because he'd want to get that win finally under his belt, have one of another epic 3-round battle.
Yeah.
It sounds like the UFC has an opponent lined up for Griffin. They're just not saying it, so it probably is Bonner.
Yeah, I mean, it would be plenty of time for him to get back in there, so.
Yeah. So Big Nog versus Dave Herman. Boy, was I wrong about Dave Herman.
Yeah, Dave Herman, he's getting cut. He's out. He's gone.
Yeah.
See you later.
Next,
please.
I was right in the fact that Nogueira did come in out of shape, but it really didn't matter since Dave Herman doesn't believe in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, but I have to say though, he did a good job at defending the first time.
Yes, but not the second time.
No, not the second time at all.
And I like how he taps and then he's laying on his back and he like, oh hell.
Yeah, he he knew going into that fight he was getting choked out.
Yeah, I mean that the fight was set up for
Not
Nogueira,
the,
just like
yeah.
the Anderson Silva fight. I mean, they knew that Bonner would stand and it would be an entertaining fight, and the fans would go crazy. I don't think they figured that Silva would just decide that he's just going to put his back up against the cage and let Bonner do what he did. But
Yeah, what the hell was that all about, by the way?
I don't know. I mean, I thought it was the Anderson Silva of old coming back and rearing its ugly head, but I'm taking the high road on this one and just kind of saying that the fans were entertained when Bonner was throwing everything he had at him and Silva was making a miss, and so he was just entertaining the crowd and playing up to it. I that's what I'm gonna go with so that it doesn't kind of make me upset for no reason.
Okay, fine.
I'm going the higher. I mean, when he first did it, I'll admit it. I was like, I'm thinking Bonner just hit him once. I mean, like land like a haymaker and at least make his knees buckle, but it never happened.
Damn it.
And I was like, arg, and then I went, whatever.
And I was almost right with my prediction that he wouldn't speak English.
Yeah, he busted out with it at the end.
I know, man.
You know, I like the Brazil cards because the fans are so crazy, but I can do without the Joe Rogan asking a question and then handing it to the other guy and then them speaking. And then it's like these post fights forever.
I was so happy that the YouTube um prelim fights
Oh
didn't
yeah,
have
didn't have any.
didn't have commentary. I was so
Yeah, that's
excited,
pretty cool.
and then they turned it on for the last fight, and I was like, no,
I
shut
know.
up, Rogan. Like I mean, I used to love Rogan and Goldie, and I don't know if it's just because it's they've been around for so long or what, but man, I'm tired of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's good to have the B team, with Anik and Florian, just so it kind of mixes it up. And I think a lot of it is there's only so many things you can say for a fight, and what ends up happening is the same things get said over and over again, and you start getting tired of it. It's like when you hear the same song, you like the song, and then you've heard it, 50 million times on the radio, and then you hear it one day, and you're like, I don't want to hear it.
That might be it, man. I don't know.
I mean, they have each, both of them have some annoying nuances in how they say things and how they, deliver what they're trying to say. And I think that, you put that in with outside influences of people making fun of the things, and it just all kind of adds up to you get a little annoying. So
I guess so. Yeah.
uh,
But
that, that knee from Anderson Silva was pretty brutal. That dropped Bonner.
yeah, it was. That it absolutely was.
And when he first hit it, I mean Bonner had covered his face. It was like, did that hit him in the face? It looked like, I had thought it hit him in the chest, which is what it ended up doing. But it looked like it, the way he covered up. I guess he was just covering up to protect his face. But
No, I agree. I thought it hit him in the face too when I first saw it, but nope. It did not.
it's two fights in a row that he's going to go for the hat trick in his next fight. Try to get one more knee to the chest. Then he gets like a set of china or silverware or something.
That works.
he gets he gets bonus. Well, let's end things with the exciting Ultimate Fighter news, or maybe not so exciting. I guess it just depends on how you look at it. I mean, I guess the one thing is it's not going to be on Friday when it starts back up for TUF 17 in January. It's gonna be on a new night. They haven't released the night officially, but the rumor is that it's gonna be a Tuesday night.
Yes, that's what front row Brian's reporting.
Yeah, I mean they had the press conference or conference call I should say for it today, and they asked, and they weren't they weren't going to say other than it was going to be on a new night during the week. But they had that new press conference or conference call because they announced the coaches as John Jones and Chael Sonnen. Thoughts?
It's gonna be hilarious to watch John Jones get so pissed off at Chael.
You know what I agree. I think it's going to be very fun. I'm afraid that it's going to be a lot of what I heard on the radio today or the telephone today. I don't know if you heard any of the audio from it, but like it
No,
would be like
I have a
this.
real job.
So did I. Just don't tell my job that I was listening to it.
Oh,
But Chael Sonnen would do his thing, and then in the background you'd hear a stupid like high school laugh, and then like, really, Chael, really, and then that would be it. And then I, I have like this like nightmare that they're gonna be cutscenes of Chael talking and just clowning John Jones, and then they'll cut over to Jones going, really, really, is that all you got? And then they'll cut back over to Chael, and then he'll keep talking, and then they'll just go on with the show.
yeah. No, I think there's gonna be at least one blow up moment from John Jones on the show, just because you saw how Rashad got under his skin
Oh,
at the interviews, and if Rashad was getting under his skin, you know Chael is gonna be able to.
yeah, I've I think that Chael could talk enough game that might make a certain champion get a little teary eyed.
Yeah, he might.
They might have to have one of the coaches walking around with Kleenex just in case.
And I'll love it.
And then they'll fight, and John Jones will kick his ass, and but
This is the pure money making venture for the UFC. No one in their right mind actually believes Chael Sonnen is going to win.
right, yeah, I mean, I don't, I listened to what Dana White had to say on why they made this fight, and I think it makes sense. I mean, Jones isn't going to be able to fight no matter what until April, so why hold up another fighter? And then Jones wanted Chael, so let the other guys battle it out and get their number one contender, and then they'll fight the winner right away. So I'm okay with it being Jones and Son, and I just can't wait to see Jones like get all blustered and stomp off and have a little crying moment or something. I swear, if he cries and they show it, I'm just gonna fucking die laughing.
It will be the best thing ever.
It'll get like 10 billion views on like everyone will watch it.
Yes. Oh, so I know this is kind of off topic, but you think Chael's going to come back out and say anything about Lance Armstrong?
I don't know. Probably not.
Oh. Sorry, like I said, completely off topic, but we were talking Chael. We're talking about Chael and making people cry. So,
well, I don't think he'll make Lance Armstrong cry, but he's definitely gonna have a good opportunity at making John Jones cry.
yes,
Well, that's it. I'm done talking to you.
I've been done talking to you for a while.
Wow. Make sure you guys follow the show on Twitter. It is the MMA Pulse. You can follow me at Josh Wood MMA, and you can follow that Jared Cat at Mr. Buttons WA.
Woo woo.
You should add that to the end of your Twitter. Woo woo.
I'll get right on that.
You should. And then I'll also follow FightFans Radio and MMA Valor. And as always, thank you guys for listening to the show. We gotta do a giveaway next week or something. How about we do a giveaway next week?
Okay.
Anybody out there is listening, which might be like my mom, somebody, maybe Jared's cousin.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom.
We're gonna do a giveaway next week, and we'll do it like the first person that calls in and says something, we'll give them something. We're talented like that. See how organized we are?
Something. Something.
I don't know what it'll be. I mean, it might be like a pack of gum I was supposed to give Jared. I don't know.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Back
I
off
don't
my
know. I'll
gum.
figure it out, and I'll do that Twitter thing and let everyone know and all that jazz. So other than that, we'll be back next week. Later.
Later.